and a very warm welcome to yet another interesting edition of the program, CAC Weekly, a weekly program that keeps you abreast on the activities and achievements of the Corporate Affairs Commission. My name is Miriam Abdurrashid. Coming up, Nigeria's anti-graft war receives a boost as CAC unveils beneficial ownership register. Plus, RGCAC bags fellowship of the National Institute for Labour Studies. We'll be right back. Do stay with us.
So going forward, this is the best so far. And let me be on record. Please let us appreciate the Registrar General, the management, and the processes they have adopted. Let me say this. I had mentioned to you, lawyers, I actually, after all this, I interviewed 5 lawyers and I said, please call a CAC. I discussed what they scored you, what he explained, and that sat very well with what the evaluators had found out. A lot of them are unhappy because they have changed the process.
Welcome back. We begin with the delightful news that the Registrar General and CEO of the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, Alhaji Garba Abubakar, has added another feather to his cap as he has been conferred with the prestigious fellowship of the National Labour Institute. Alhaji Garba Abubakar was honored by the Michael Imodu National Institute of Labour Studies for his role in maintaining prevailing industrial harmony and prioritizing workers' welfare, amongst others, over the years. The honor was also in commemoration of the Institute's 40th anniversary, where the Fellowship Award is conferred on a few individuals who have made significant contributions to the field of industrial and labor relations practice as part of the Institute's professional certification in industrial and labor relations. The 40th anniversary, or Founders Day, 1983 to 2023 of the Minilis recognizes the efforts of the present-day labor leaders alongside past labor heroes who fought for workers' welfare. The celebration held on May 9, 2023 at KM7 Minilis headquarters at Jase Ikpo Road, Ilorin, Kwara State, also recognized present-day labor-friendly individuals and organizations that have maintained cordial industrial harmony in their agencies. Speaking at the occasion, the Director General, CEO Minilis, Comrade Isa Aremu, said the institute was being repositioned to become a reputable place where labor leaders and trainees from Africa, particularly West Africa, will leverage its training potential. Isa Aremu revealed that the institute now offers degree programs, a national diploma, entrepreneurial training, and certificates on industrial relations and labor matters, amongst others, in addition to ongoing plans to introduce long-distance learning programs soon. Commenting on the choice of the awardees, Comrade Aremu said the RGCAC and other recipients for the investiture of fellows of the National Institute have fulfilled the Institute's criteria, which includes promotion of a decent work agenda, labor friendliness, staff training, and capacity building, amongst others. The lead speaker for the day, Professor Dafe Otobo of the University of Lagos, who delivered the anniversary lecture titled Workers' Education in Nigeria, Past, Present, and Future, stressed that Nigeria's labor law was in dire need of extensive reform in line with global best practices. The university don said the world was fast moving towards a modern workplace, leveraging technology, hence the need for Nigeria to follow suit. He maintained that engagement and collaboration were key to enhancing employer-employee relationship and therefore emphasized the need for both parties to keep abreast of modern labor policy and labor education for arbitration purposes. CAC Weekly reports that several dignitaries graced the occasion, including the Minister for Labour and Employment, Festus Keyamo, SAN, represented by Prince Sam Okpakpo Onopowomo, Chairman of the Governing Board of Minilis. Other dignitaries that personally attended or sent representatives include the Kwara State Governor, NLC President, Trade Union Congress President, Vice Chancellor, Lagos State University, Vice Chancellor, University of Ilorin, DG NECA, DG NHIS, Acting DG SEC, DG NDE, DG National Productivity Center, Registrar Industrial Arbitration Panel, and MAN President, amongst others. We say some very big congratulations to the RG and the CAC family. Moving on to another milestone achievement for the Commission, Nigeria, and the world. Our esteemed viewers may recall that President Muhammadu Buhari had, during the 2016 London Anti-Corruption Summit, gave a commitment that Nigeria was signing up to the Open Government Partnership (OGP) initiative to further boost the fight against corruption. The OGP is a multi-stakeholder initiative focused on improving government transparency, ensuring opportunities for citizens' participation in public matters, and strengthening mechanisms for public accountability. It brings together government and civil society champions of reform who believe governments are more effective and credible when they open their doors to public input and oversight. As a result of that solemn commitment, Nigeria, via the Corporate Affairs Commission, began work in earnest to build a beneficial ownership register that will be freely available to the public, particularly those interested in investigating the activities of shareholders of companies. Now, our viewers might be wondering what the Beneficial Ownership Register, BOR, or Persons with Significant Control Register is all about. CAC Weekly caught up with the Registrar General CEO of the CAC, Alhaji Garba Abubakar, who has worked tirelessly over the years to build the BOR, due for launch on Wednesday, May 24th to Thursday, 25th, 2023. Let's join him in the interview segment as he takes us through the BOR journey.
Alhaji Garba Abubakar, Registrar General CAC, many thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, let me congratulate you. It has been a season of awards and fellowship from PEBEC to Savicom and to the fellowship from the Institute of Michael Imodu Institute. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I know we'll come to that later on in the program, but let's start from the Beneficial Ownership Register, which has been very dear to your heart. I know it's going to be launched any moment from now, next week, if I'm correct. But talk us through all this, the journey so far.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, the concept of beneficial ownership is a new thing globally, though it didn't start today. It started way back with the 40+ recommendations of the Financial Action Task Force, which required all member countries to have beneficial ownership disclosure in their company legal framework. For us in Nigeria, over the years, until now, we had consistently had non-conformity in that area because our Companies and Allied Matters Act then didn't provide for mandatory disclosure of beneficial ownership. You know, the concept of company law has changed. Before now, you have issues of lifting the veil. If you want to know the real owners of a company, you have to lift the veil. But that has changed. In fact, company jurisprudence has completely changed.
So the veil is wide open now.
It's wide open because that's the whole essence of having beneficial ownership disclosure. What the law provides is, if you're holding shares, either directly or indirectly, you must disclose the names of the ultimate beneficiary. And that ultimate beneficiary must be a natural person. Unlike before, where you have a complex arrangements of ownership through different vehicles, using companies, some offshore, to get to know the ultimate beneficiary was always difficult. So In 2016, Mr. President made a commitment at the London Anti-Corruption Summit that Nigeria was going to have a publicly available register of beneficial owners of all corporate bodies. So that was the beginning of our journey to the realization of this register that we're going to launch next week. So in line with that commitment, we had to start the process of amending the Companies and Allied Matters Act to provide for beneficial ownership disclosure, because until the law provides for that, you can't just come and have a register and implement beneficial ownership disclosure. So it coincided with the process of amendment of CAMA. And CAMA was amended, it was reenacted, and in line with that commitment, the concept of persons with significant control was entrenched in the new CAMA. In our own journey, we decided to adopt the UK model of persons with significant control, which has a broader framework than the narrow concept of beneficial ownership. So it deals with not just ownership of shares or control of voting rights. It also covers any form of control over the way and manner a company is managed, as well as any trust arrangement, whether registered or not, that has some form of control or influence in the way a company is managed. So that was entrenched in the law, and the law was eventually enacted and assented to by Mr. President in August of 2020. The implementation of this new law started in January 2021. When we started the implementation, some gaps were observed, both in the definition as well as in the implementation. And there was a mutual evaluation report that was conducted by the Intergovernmental Action Group Against Money Laundering in West Africa, JABA, that identified some of these gaps. And we had to come up with the persons with significant control regulations to close some of these gaps. And the regulation is very robust. It has addressed issues like state-owned enterprises. Where a state-owned enterprise is involved, how do you identify the beneficial owner? Where a politically exposed person is involved, the disclosure must state that one of the beneficial owners is a politically exposed person. The regulation has not affected the threshold because our own law provides a threshold of 5% of shares or 5% of voting rights. So if you qualify as such, or if by virtue of your position, either within or outside the company, you do exert any form of control or influence over the way and manner a company is managed, then you are qualified to disclose your status. And when these disclosures are made, the information is publicly available. Under our regulations, this is one information that is made available to the public at no cost. So any member of the public can go to our website, search.cac.gov.ng, and you can access the beneficial ownership information. The Commission has gotten funding from World Bank to have this public register, and is due for launch on the 25th of May this year. And the launching will be preceded by an international conference to discuss beneficial ownership, the best practice. We are bringing speakers from the UK, from the US, and other jurisdictions that have particularly the UK, that have successfully implemented beneficial ownership.
So they can share their story.
They can share their story. And I can say this, Nigeria is the lead country in Africa on this implementation. In fact, we are going to receive a delegation from Kenya, from Ghana, from Liberia, and from Zambia. They are coming on a study tour that we are going to do a peer review. They are going to understudy our journey, not just on beneficial ownership implementation, but as well as our digital transformation as a registry. The peer review has been organized by Open Ownership. They are funding the peer review, and we are going to receive this delegation from these countries from the 7th to the 9th of June. So that tells you how important this topic is and how far we have gone as an agency of government in the implementation. The whole essence of all this is to support the anti-corruption initiative of the government. Globally, corporate bodies are the principal vehicles for corruption, for money laundering, and for the terrorism financing. There is a limit to the extent of a transaction an individual can carry out, financial transaction an individual can carry out. All contracts are done using companies as vehicles. Most foreign transactions with respect to transfer of money are done using corporate vehicles under different guise. And as a deliberate policy, the Commission has made data available to all government agencies, all investigation agencies, at no cost. They have unfettered access to the information. They can view it, they can download, they can get report from us, and that helps them in their work. Because you cannot do investigation with respect to money laundering without knowing those behind this company, without knowing the individuals that control the company, the individuals that are signatories to these accounts. So these are some of the initiatives that have been done. And as I have mentioned, the launch will be a significant milestone for Mr. President, because it will bring his commitment to reality.
But let me jump in here. Why do you have to wait till 4 days to the end of his tenure?
You know,
if it is that dear to him.
You know, at least this thing is achieved before the end of the tenure, because
4 days.
No, it doesn't matter, because building system is not a joke. Because when we migrated to the new law and to the new portal, we didn't want to leave any gap in our database. So we started collecting some of this information as part of our company registration portal. But with the changes in the regulations, brought by the regulations, as well as the requirements that this information should be in open data format, we didn't have the resources then to actually build that register in line with best standards that is globally accepted. And Nigeria has also joined the Beneficial Ownership Leadership Group, which is a club of different countries that have subscribed to the beneficial ownership principles, and they share data among themselves. So the information we maintain is being shared with open ownership, which is like the central authority that normally collects and publishes information on beneficial ownership from the member countries of the Beneficial Ownership Leadership Group. What this will do is, it will not only make this information, our information available, it will also allow our law enforcement agencies and other investigation agencies to have unfettered access to the information being maintained by other countries. So, and Mr. President actually approved our membership of the leadership group.
Okay.
And this is a significant milestone. And you know, World Bank has its own requirements. The funding didn't come until about 1-2 months ago.
Okay.
So it took some time to even finish the documentation. Was quite challenging. Okay. They have their own standards, their own documentation.
But finally it's here.
It's here. And what they did was they have allowed our own vendor to build the register, because we didn't want a situation where somebody else that has no experience, any memory of what we are doing, to come and build something that may not necessarily talk to our own system. So they assessed what the vendor has done so far, and they approved that the same vendor should be retained to actually build the register. Because the register is available live, and the launch will happen on the 25th.
I can see how excited you are. The challenges with your website and, you know, people having, I mean, the allegations that people have to spend days rather than the 24 hours that was promised.
Well, you see, this is technology. We are dependent on so many things. We don't host this application ourselves. We rely on hosting facilities outside our own environment. We rely on internet connection from service providers. We rely on payment gateways that is provided by third parties, the remitter. We've integrated with NIMSI. We've integrated with FIRS. So if any of these systems, any of these agencies had any issue with their system, you won't be able to have seamless transaction with us. So this application is so complex because you rely on all this information, because, as I said, you have to validate your name. You have to stamp these documents. We have to put a NIN on your certificate if you are a limited liability company. If the NIN interface with FIRS is down, you'll not be able to do that. When the internet, you see, even our own personal transactions with our banks, how seamless is it? Banks have more money than CAC.
Yeah.
But is it every day that we have seamless experience?
I know.
customers still have challenges with getting refund from banks. It has taken 1 month to get refund. Nobody is talking about that. Most of these people complaining, they have tried other agencies of government. They go and queue up for 1 month, 2 months to get results. So there is no perfect technology, even the best jurisdictions that you have.
But the question will be, if we are having a super tech CAC, people expect so much.
Of course, I can tell you, you cannot compare us to any other person. In this country, amongst all government agencies when it comes to technology, and the scale of services that we are providing, you can't compare us to anybody. Portal is truly self-serving. You, end to end, you do a transaction with us. And this portal is available 24/7. And when did we have these glitches? This portal has been in operation since January 2021. Just because you have some experiences 1 week, there are glitches, and it's not total shutdown. It's not total. This portal has never been down totally. You may experience sometimes challenges processing some applications, but all the issues have been fixed.
But is CAC using 5G?
Let me tell you what we have done.
Okay. So yes or no?
We
Do you have
work,
5G?
wait, let me tell you what we have done. We work 24/7 as a commission. We don't have weekends. We don't have public holidays. We don't have Christmas days. We don't have Saturdays. You can ask some of these customers. Our staff work at any time of the day, any time of the week. What we have done is we have given them devices that allows them to work from home on weekends at their own free time. We don't enforce it on them. But to show you the level of commitment, staff work at any time of the day, any time of the week, even while on transit. So we've given them devices, we've given them data. Of course, the data is 5G. 5G is still new. We give data monthly to our staff. Apart from the office environment, when they're in the office environment, they use the local network. When they are outside, they use the data, the modem that is given to them. They work. Which other government agencies are doing this? Outside hospitals. I ask you, even hospitals, they run shift. So you have certificates dated 25th December, issued by CAC. You have certificates that were issued on Saturday. Some of this is get to me to clear. Some of the applications get to me. I don't have weekends. I don't have Saturdays. I don't have Sundays. I don't have Saturdays. I still clear some of the names, particularly for incorporated trustees.
All right, so as we wind down, come 25th of May, 2023, CAC is going to break new records and create new history. So what is the message to Nigerians?
The message is they should use this data. The data is there for everybody to use. The whole essence of making it publicly available, in line with the commitment made by Mr. President, is if you have any information, that the information in the register is not a true reflection of the control of that company, please escalate it. It will support our anti-corruption drive. If somebody is using his position, either as a public servant or politically exposed person, to execute contracts within a company that he is the ultimate beneficiary, but on the face of the papers, you may not see it. If you have that information, check our register. If it is not consistent with the reality that you know, please escalate. And we'll report to law enforcement agencies. The whole essence is for it to support our anti-corruption drive. And for people to use to access this data, particularly civil society. Civil society working in the anti-corruption space, they have a good opportunity now to do their work. And for government that has subscribed to the fight against corruption, this is one legacy that is unbeaten. I'm glad this is happening now. And it has finally brought to bear the commitment made by Mr. President in 2016. So finally, we have a publicly available register of beneficial ownership of companies in Nigeria. Registrar General, congratulations in advance. Thank you so much. We wish you a super successful launching. Thank you. And thank you very much for your time. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Wow. Thumbs up to the CAC and congratulations to Nigeria. And that does it for this week's edition of the program, CAC Weekly. We hope you enjoyed watching. For comments and inquiries, please take advantage of our social media handles and our call center. On Twitter, it is CAC Nigeria 1. On Instagram and Facebook, it is Corporate Affairs Commission. Our email is cservice@cac.gov.ng. Our website is www.cac.gov.ng. Our call center 070-806-29000. Do join us next week for another interesting edition of the program. Same time, same station. From me, Miriam Abdurrashid, and the whole team here, it's bye for now.